So I've definitely gotten better over the years at being, well, of not being so much of a pack rat anymore. But still, sometimes saving some key parts really comes in handy, because sometimes the one thing you need is just the one thing that you need. And this one just happened to pay off just right in the first couple days of a ceiling fan that I saved. So I got lucky on this one. Here it goes. Okay, had this ceiling fan that I had to replace the other day because the ceiling fan switch was out, and replaced the ceiling fan switch, and then the whole thing wouldn't work, so I ended up needing to replace it. Ironically, today I have the same type of ceiling fan, and the lights are turning on and then turning off real quick. So I'm going to bring this and going to maybe change out the light kit portion. See how it goes. Yes, on the one I changed out the other day, changed out the fan control, the fan switch, which had actually broken, I don't know, a couple months before, and had changed it out, and then everything worked good. Couple months, and then the chain broke off inside. Changed it to a new fan switch, and it worked. And then when we put it back together, then it didn't work after putting it back together, and that's why I wound up changing out that particular ceiling fan. Now, it probably would have worked fine, but it's really tight inside the box where the fan switch and the light switch is. And my thought is probably it just got bumped loose, but I didn't want to keep messing with it, and that had broke twice before. Was just time to change it out with a new one. But was lucky that I did, because here I was able to use the parts on this one. And first I tried fixing the quick connect on the light switch on the what do you call it? On the light kit. I could see that it was frayed on one side of the quick connect that goes to the light kit. So pulled those apart, stripped them, wired them together using wire nuts as a quick connect instead. Now this particular fan model has been discontinued, and well, I'll go into why I think it was discontinued shortly here. So here it is after changing rewiring the light kit. And my next step was replacing the light kit itself, but that didn't get it either. And what it turned out to actually be was there's a thermal switch inside, so I had to change out that thermal switch from the old one. There's just 3 wires, and I just mimicked it exactly the same way it was. So we got our new thermal switch. Okay, so we have to tuck all that in. And we also need to be able to hook it up. Okay. We're going to line this up. Okay. Quick connect. This clips on. Okay. Okay. So we're going to leave it just like that. In a moment of testing. It's about July 4th. Okay, we're good. Not unclear yet. Gotta put it back together. So got everything fixed and now putting it back together. Now, one thing, it's definitely tricky to get back together. You got to line up the screw holes and insert the screws, and this one is kind of offset, so it's just not so simple. One thing that can make it a lot easier is a magnetized screwdriver, or magnetizing your screwdriver. It seems like every time I go to magnetize my screwdriver though, then my screwdriver wears out or breaks, and then I need a new screwdriver, and I often forget. This one I did it without it being magnetized. Before I get too far, I just want to make sure everything still works. Yeah. Yep, so that's what it was. On this one was the thermal switch. This fan was discontinued. Kind of a shame. It's really a nice looking fan, but unfortunately, just a couple design flaws. Between it's kind of a wimpy uh, aluminum foil shield that goes around to block the heat from the lights, and they could have lessened that heat by including LEDs or compact fluorescents that would work in an enclosed fixture. The other thing that is really bad on this one is the lineup of the holes for the glass cover. The glass cover passes over, and the fan poles and the light switch pole pass through. And the thing is, they're just not exactly lined up. You'd think they would have set those switches so that they line up exactly straight down through the holes in the glass cover, but they're actually offset a little bit, which puts an extra strain on those fan poles, and then the fan poles often break. And well, anyway, nice brand new fan, but newer is not always better, as I like to say. And in this case, that was definitely the case, and but hence this fan being discontinued. But I really did like the look of this fan. It's got a kind of like a starfish kind of effect, and kind of a shame. But anyway, this one was able to repair. Probably in the future be changing it out, but for now it's working good. Done deal. So was the thermal switch. The thermal switch kind of turns off the lights if things get too hot, or if the voltage isn't correct, if there's an over wattage on the bulbs, if you use wattage of bulbs that are too high. I show this also in some other videos where if a fan light kit's been changed out, it comes with three 40-watt bulbs, and if you change those to 60-watt bulbs by accident or not knowing, then every time you turn the fan pull on, the lights blank out. So I kind of show that in another video, but that's another subject. This one I wound up tucking the wiring up better so it was further distanced from the incandescent bulbs. But that was the situation here. Got it back running. And sometimes it pays off to be a pack rat, and this was one of those moments. And actually, usually I wind up storing stuff for 10 years and not using it, and then finally throwing it away. This one, 2 days later, after saving the parts from the old fan, I got to use them, so that was a little bit of forward thinking. Worked out good. And with these types of ceiling fans, it kind of pays to double verify things in steps as you go to make sure everything's still working. There's a lot going on. It's very tight to fit everything back up inside, and so all that stress on the wiring can pull something loose or make a connection loose. So just want to verify that everything's good as you go. And here you can see lining up the shade, and then this has a thumb screw that screws onto the bottom. No big deal. Okay, so crazy job. What it was the heat sensor in there. Years ago I had one where I had a light that wasn't working and went to another property to help out. And it always kind of bugged me that I hadn't fixed it, that I had just told him, well, you need a new fan. So it was kind of fun today to track it down. Here's a transformer. This is for the different speeds, 7 microfarad, 8 microfarad, 5 microfarad on the transformer. So this one I had go bad the other day. Fortunately saved the parts, which came in handy today. Changed the whole light kit. This light kit is actually okay, so I can save the parts from there. This one, the switch is bad for the fan pull, and now the transformer's bad. So this particular ceiling fan was actually discontinued, and I think because these wires are kind of too close to the lights, and eventually the heat kind of burns through the wires and stuff, so melts them. Yep. It doesn't completely melt them, but it just kind of.
And the easy fix for that is just to change these to LED bulbs or fluorescent, compact fluorescents. At least they won't give off so much heat. Pull a little less voltage too. And I'm kind of curious to pull this apart, take a look inside, see if we can see what happened to our thermal switch. Not really, but it's interesting. There's a burn mark right there, and another right there, but, yep. Anyway, change it out. Good deal. All set.
Yep, so not repairing that ceiling fan was always something that bugged me at a different property that I explained earlier. And I'm just curious, the other maintenance and repair guys out there, if you guys have stories of something like that kind of bugged you, but you always wish you had kind of figured out that one particular problem. Anything like that, if you want to share it in the comments below, that'd be cool. I'm sure we all have stories like that, and so I shared one of mine here. No other ones really come to mind at the moment, but you know, if I do think of one, I'll throw it in the comments down there too. But it'd be cool to hear from you guys similar situations like that. Something you always wish you had kind of figured out, but you just kind of got through it that particular day. Anyway, thanks for watching Kung Fu Maintenance. Over and out.